Here's a story from Nonstop Local Tri-Cities Yakima, because it was the only outlet that I could find that actually centered the story around the winner of the race, Brandon Herrera. It says Republican Brandon Herrera advances to primary runoff election in Texas's 23rd congressional district, for which there is a single sentence, which says Republican Brandon Herrera advances to primary runoff in election in Texas 23rd congressional district. See, the reason I opted for this Nonstop Local Tri-Cities Yakima NBC page is because literally every other outlet, they title their stories like, Gonzalez heads to runoff amid allegations of affair with aide in a tight primary race with conservative challenger Brandon Herrera. I would argue, indeed, it is not a tight race, as Brandon Herrera won handily. However, we got to scroll down here on this website. In Texas, you've got to get at least 50%. So, okay, fair. It is relatively tight. It's less than 1,000 votes, but Brandon Herrera won. And so the headline should be either Gonzalez defeated by Brandon Herrera, however, they will both go to a runoff. Every headline acts like Brandon Herrera, who I'm going to argue is substantially more famous than Tony Gonzalez. This is what really irks me. Okay, this is the reality of the establishment media and the machine state of this country. By any metric, Brandon Herrera is more famous than Tony Gonzalez. He's got millions of followers. And I'm not saying that to disparage Tony Gonzalez, but Tony Gonzalez is like a rank and file member of Congress. In his district, he's probably moderately well known. But I guarantee you, if you go to any random place in the country and ask them, do you know who Brandon Herrera is? Do you know Tony Gonzalez is? You're going to get more people saying Brandon Herrera. He's a big YouTuber. So that's why it irks me when he wins. He's more famous, and then you see all the media act like he doesn't matter, because these people don't want to give air or space to anyone who would challenge that machine. So it is Rumble wallets. Guys, you're tired of people banning you, blocking you, shutting you down? They want you to own nothing and be happy. Well, Rumble Wallet is a non-custodial means of holding value, storing value, and transferring it to other people, trading. So if you're watching on Rumble and you want to tip, you can use the Rumble wallet. Rumble's the only company that has stood the test of time, deserving our support in fighting for free speech and freedom to transact and exist as we want. Banks can cancel your account. They can freeze your card. That's why Rumble has launched the Rumble wallet. It's a wallet that no one can cancel. Supporters can use to instantly tip creators like us here at Timcast without any middleman taking cuts. You control your money, not a bank, not a government, not a tech company, not even Rumble can touch it. It's yours, only yours to protect your future and your family. You can buy and save digital assets like Bitcoin and Tether Gold in one place. Tether Gold is real gold on the blockchain with ownership of physical gold bars. It's not only a wallet to buy and save, but also allows you to support your favorite creators by easily tipping them with a click of a button. And there will be no fees when you tip my channel or others when we receive that tip instantly, unlike other platforms where you got to wait for payouts or there's a lot taken out. So support the show and check out the Rumble wallet. Make sure you guys download it by going to wallet.rumble.com. Download it today, open an account, step away from the big banks, use wallet.rumble.com, or you can search for them in the App Store. Shout out, Rumble Wallet. Outside of that, we got a lot to talk about because Jasmine Crockett got fired. And Dan Crenshaw got fired as well. So, I mean, or are we looking at? Well, I got to throw in the mix. Okay, lower Republican turnout than Democrat. How are you guys feeling about all this?
So I think that it's kind of not a surprise that Crenshaw got beat. Honestly, he's looked at as a swamp creature. If you look at his history when it comes to stock trading, he's done a lot of things that people consider insider trading. He's made a lot of money in the stock market since he's been in Congress. It's fairly well known. I think that the MAGA base kind of looks at him and says, no, he's just a boilerplate swamp creature, and we want to get him out and get someone else in.
Yeah, I mean, Crenshaw is literally the worst. I think everyone knew that. It got to the point where we were all like, maybe we owe Pete Davidson an apology. Like that actually kind of was a funny joke when you think about it. Like it got so bad. So good riddance.
Well, he had a lot of there were a lot of people that were looking to give him a chance when he first got in because he's a former Navy SEAL, because of his pedigree and stuff, and he just totally wasted it and totally blew it.
Yeah, the GOP was a lot softer when he came in too. And then he just like ended up being this really like catty, vindictive guy. I don't even know how much of it really was his his politics, more so than it was just his personality. It was just like he would crash out all the time. He was literally like a gay guy, the way he behaved. Like he was
Kind of like a curmudgeon.
yeah, he was always just like freaking out on people, and he's always like trying to settle scores. And the way he like tweeted was just like he made you feel gross just reading it.
Patch McCain was very accurate for him.
Yeah, there's a lot of great nicknames for him.
It's so sad though, because when he got in, he was so promising, and everyone was excited.
Yeah, he was awesome. I thought he was going to be the guy that spoke truth to power, because he kind of did at the beginning.
But I feel like a lot of people didn't even know about him until the Pete Davidson thing.
What year was
Well,
that?
I will say this: the Politicos, the space that I was in, when he won, we were like, "Let's go!"
He was a big deal.
A new breed of better Republicans to challenge the machine state.
And then what happened?
A combat veteran guy, right? He's going to get in there and he's going to whip these suits into shape.
Yep.
We got these pencil neck DC guys who've never seen a fight in their lives. Crenshaw comes in. We were stoked. And then he
And he did nothing.
threatened to kill Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out to Stephen Edgington.
I
by
think
the
it's
way.
one of those things
Patriot.
that he ended up becoming the very product that we were trying to get out of office.
Yeah.
You know, to where not every great individual with a great pedigree is meant for leadership. You know, they were great in their field, but when they transition to this place of power, you're trying to vote for anything and everything that opposes that other party, even if it's far right. And far right in the moment seemed like the perfect answer. But then as years went on and that clash begins to diminish over the years, now you realize like, oh shoot, this probably wasn't the right guy to run things. You know, regardless of how many consecutive turns he was doing, I think it's about time that Republicans are seeing, you know what, it's not about having that far left, far right narrative. It's about finding where conservatives were supposed to be the entire time.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
In Iran?
Did it COVID drive Dan Crenshaw insane? Because he was normal at first, kind of a badass. Then he got real quiet for a couple years, and I didn't hear from him. And then he started bitching nonstop.
Maybe there was like a deep state guy who somehow got access to Crenshaw's browser history and like knocks on his door and says, Mr. Crenshaw, and he's like, hey man, I'm not going to listen to you deep state guys. And it's like, here's a list of your browser history. And says, I will say anything you want.
Oh, did he get blackmailed?
I'm kidding,
He
but
was a
maybe.
firebrand.
Someone was going to tell people what's actually behind the patch.
Yeah, I think he's just like a ladder climber because like I remember when he first came in, everyone's like getting all hyped. They were just going back to what his statements were on like the initial Trump run, and he was like pearl clutching over Trump's like comments on Muslims. And he's like, "This is so hateful. Like we're Americans. We're better than this." So it was like this guy clearly was a ladder climber. And typically when you're a ladder climber, you're actually really good at like hiding your cards. But he's terrible at it. He has the worst poker face in politics. Like that's like what I led with is he's literally melting down all the time. I've never seen him happy before. Like he's always just like mad, freaking out, just like good. And I think honestly his constituents probably don't even know anything about his politics. They're just sick of his attitude.
Yeah, I mean,
Just like so I just can't stand the guy.
This is a light taste of what's to come this year with the midterm elections. And you know it's going to get real spicy towards the end of summer because the Democrats came out in force. The turnout was very, very good for Democrats. Republicans were down by like 20%. Yeah. So a lot of Republicans are sounding the alarm saying like, guys, if we can't get turnout, especially when you're trying to get like Ken Paxton to win to beat Cornyn and Herrera to beat Gonzalez. Yep. I mean, come on. Like these elections very, very much mattered. And although I would say it turned out very well on the Republican side, the turnout was relatively low. So end of summer, Democrats are going to be coming out screaming and bashing their faces against the table that the apocalypse is happening. Yeah. You know, so we've got in our newsroom, we're running that channel where it's like it's not a channel, it's 4 channels at once. Sure. So you can see, I guess, what do they have pulled up? Sports. Like the top left is some sport channel. I don't know, you guys watch football or something. But then you got Fox, MS Now, and CNN, and it was absolutely hilarious before the show started. MS Now's Chiron was Hegseth says something like talking about dead troops makes Trump look bad or something like this, which is like he definitely didn't say. And then Fox was like Democrats endorse murder or something. Not even kidding. And then CNN was like more missile strikes in Riyadh or whatever, something like that. And I just thought it was absolutely hilarious to see the state of media in this country right now. But I would argue that Fox News, hyper partisan, Democrats endorse, illegal immigrant crime or something like this. And it's like, I get it. Like, okay, it's hyperbolic, but technically it's true. Hegseth saying that he's claiming that people should stop talking about dead troops because it makes Trump look bad. That literally never happened. Yeah. And so, like, the right is, if watching Fox News, you're going to be biased You know, you're going to get information biased against Democrats, but opinionated and true. Hyperbolic, perhaps. And MS Now is just lying about what's going on. Imagine what it's going to be like in August when we're a couple months out from the midterms. And this is the Democrats' opportunity to put an end to Trump once and for all, because this is it for him. This is his last opportunity. If the Democrats win the midterms, they know they are going to jam a crowbar in the gears and then just lock everything up. So they are going to be going out in massive force, screaming that the world is ending. And my point on the MS Now thing is, you think that headline is crazy? Wait till you see what they pull out. Like, Donald Trump will go to pet a dog and they'll speed it up 200%. And it says Donald Trump repeatedly strikes dog. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be absolutely insane.
I mean, nowadays it's going to be just AI photos of the same thing, or videos of the same thing.
Yeah. Well, you're going to get this negative feedback loop because, like, I don't like the inside baseball for how political media works is really the summer before the election cycle is when the money starts flooding in. So you're going to get a negative feedback loop where some money starts coming in. MS Now starts saying, like, hey, if we don't win this election, it's all over. All these donors are going to freak out and start pouring more and more money in. So this is going to be like the most expensive midterm cycle, not just on the election side, but in the media side as well.
Do you think that the big donors are going to give money to the people that are, that are essentially calling all rich people the evil, and you think they're still going to open up their pocketbooks for that?
Well, because they think they're the exception.
Well, what wasn't Bernie Sanders' campaigns mostly funded by small donors and stuff?
Yeah. So, like, but that's kind of rare. I mean, like, another example was the Herrera versus.
No. It was all millionaires and billionaires, but they only gave $20.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I'm kidding. It wasn't. It was mostly like working class, middle class people.
And the Herrera Gonzalez race is another example where Herrera was mostly, actually, I think it was entirely small donors, and then Gonzalez was like all institutional. But this is the thing that sucks is the reason that Gonzalez was so close, because he's like literally has the most skeletons in his closet that we can look right at him in the eyes, is because the cash on hand he had was still far surpassed Herrera. So it's but we're still playing in the old school game.
The point that I'm making is the people that are running for Congress, the energy is with the left now is really on the far left, and they've made it clear that they look at wealthy people as the enemy. I just wonder if wealthy people that generally write the big checks to PACs and stuff, I wonder if they're going to open their pocketbooks when people like Bernie Sanders and Ro Khanna are talking about wealth taxes or taxes on your property. That right now people have already started to leave California just because that is on the ballot. It seems like it's a popular ballot measure and it might pass, but at the same time, when the wealthy people are like, "Yo, we can't do this," are they really going to write checks for people that are going to?
I think they're going to continue to write those checks because it's all a part of the grand scheme of things. Because they'll end up with someone like Mamdani in New York, and will continue to fund this whole spiel. Right now, they're using this as bait that we got to tax the rich. We got to tax the rich. Those rich donors that are donating to those Democratic parties are going to continue to do this because their next candidate is going to run on that whole phase of tax the rich. And it's going to happen like every single other time, the trickle effect. But it will continue to come down.
But the evidence coming out of California is that they don't. They leave. They try to get away from that.
To Tim's point, like, this sounds so cliche at this point, but TDS really does trump everything else, because you have to think, for these billionaires, they legitimately think Trump is going to exterminate the United States as it stands. So that trumps everything else. They're willing to risk it on like them potentially getting taxed more if it means keeping Trump out. And this happens from the center left all the way to the far left. Look at Bill Kristol. Bill Kristol's he has wet dreams every night of bombing Iran. He literally dreams and salivates about bombing Iran. It's all he wants to see before he dies is burning flesh in Iran. Trump bombs Iran. All of a sudden he's like, Trump is committing like a war crime here, and like he's actually like not following the rule of international law. So it's like every single one of these people, their like lifelong dream, the Trump hatred will overcome that every single time.
But Bill Kristol is a swamp monster. Bill Kristol
is left of center.
He may be left of center, but he's not a business person that's a billionaire that's writing the massive checks.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.